Today on MUFC Pulse, we'll dive into some incredibly intriguing news. Why Ugarte needs to be shipped out, and Mbeumo's verdict on Antoine Semenyo joining the Red Devils. For more on this story, check out the video. We also have some equally exciting football news coming up, so stay tuned until the end to catch it all. Welcome to MUFC Pulse. Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell for more updates. Manuel Ugarte's time at Old Trafford must come to an end. Back in the summer of 2024, United forked out a reported £50 million for the signature of midfielder Manuel Ugarte from PSG, a deal that injected optimism into the fanbase. However, 18 months on, it's clear the deal has been a disaster, with the Uruguayan international rapidly dropping down Amorim's pecking order in the current campaign. He's only started 3 league matches out of a possible 17, with the likes of Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes both currently ahead of him in the pecking order. Ugarte was handed a start against Aston Villa after the Brazilian picked up his 5th yellow card of the season, but it was an afternoon to forget for the 24-year-old. He featured for 73 minutes in the West Midlands before being withdrawn, with his underlying figures from the defeat showcasing his lack of quality and impact. The midfielder lost 50% of the duels he entered, whilst only winning 40% of the tackles he attempted, showcasing his lack of quality without the ball, something which is meant to be his biggest asset. United have now lost all 7 of the games as started this season, which could see him drop down the selection order further, with the big money additions struggling to match expectations. Bryan Mbeumo weighs in as Antoine Semenyo is linked with Old Trafford switch. The Red Devils have had a mixed league campaign under manager Ruben Amorim, but they are still within 3 points of the top 4. The club has a good chance of qualifying for the Champions League, and the hierarchy could back the manager with a marquee winter signing. A new defensive midfielder would be ideal for the Red Devils, but none of their prime targets could be available during the winter period. And Crystal Palace's Adam Wharton, Nottingham Forest's Elliot Anderson and Brighton and Hove Albion's Carlos Baleba may not move until the summer. In that case, the club could focus on further strengthening their attack. Manchester United have been handed a huge boost in signing Bournemouth winger Antoine Semenyo in January. The Bournemouth attacker has a £65 million release clause in his contract, which will be active between January the 1st and 10th. The Red Devils have had plenty of opportunities to break into the top 4 this campaign. They have squandered them with draws and defeats over the past few weeks. The club have scored as many league goals as Arsenal, but their defensive record has been poor. It seems unlikely that United will land a top-quality defensive midfielder this winter. The onus could be on bolstering the attack with a signing that can make an instant impact. Semenyo, described as fantastic, would be a fabulous acquisition for the Red Devils. The 25-year-old has already netted 8 goals and provided 3 assists in the league this campaign, and has excelled playing on either wing. He could operate as a wide number 10 for the Red Devils. United see Semenyo as a potential solution in the left wing-back role ahead of Patrick Dorgu. He could shine in the position too, given that he is someone who works hard without the ball. Semenyo has won an impressive 6.4 duels on average, with 5 recoveries and 1.7 tackles per game. He could provide an immediate boost for the Red Devils and transform their fortunes. The Ghanaian star could be a difference maker for United in their pursuit of Champions League football, particularly with his knack for making goal contributions. Semenyo's presence is expected to be a difference maker for United in their mission to chase a Champions League ticket. His ability to contribute directly to goal creation is considered a solution to the deadlock often experienced by the team in the last few matches. With high playing intensity, the Ghanaian star is seen as having a profile that fits the demanding physical nature of the Premier League. Responding to the transfer, Semenyo's fellow continental player, Bryan Mbeumo, said that he actually does not care much and does not get involved in player transfer matters. He then said, whoever comes during the transfer window later, he hopes that the player can adapt quickly with the team for United to go further. Regarding the news of Semenyo to United, he said that he did not know about it, and he said that anyone can come and we will accept them as a team. Manchester United management is now in a crucial position to determine whether they will activate Semenyo's release clause in early January. An investment of £65 million is certainly not a small figure, but given the difficulty of obtaining a quality defensive midfielder mid-season, bringing in a multifunctional attacker like Semenyo becomes a sensible option to refresh the squad. Ultimately, United's ambition to return to elite European competition will heavily depend on transfer policy and tactical adaptation under Amorim. If the Semenyo transfer materializes and he is able to integrate quickly as Mbeumo hopes, then United have a formidable new weapon to improve their position at the top of the Premier League table. In addition to technical and financial factors, Semenyo's potential move will also test the depth of Ruben Amorim's strategy in maximizing versatile talent. If management decides to redeem his release clause, the pressure is not only on Semenyo's shoulders to prove his investment value, but also on the harmony of the United dressing room in welcoming new energy amidst tight internal competition. Open support from a figure like Mbeumo shows that psychologically, professional players see this transfer dynamic as a common thing that is expected to bring a positive impact to the team's collectivity in pursuing ambitious targets for the remainder of the season. Latest on Conor Gallagher's potential switch to United. The future of England international Conor Gallagher remains shrouded in uncertainty as he continues to endure a frustrating spell at Atletico Madrid. Despite being in his prime at 25, the tireless midfielder has found it increasingly difficult to pin down a regular starting spot in Diego Simeone's side. With Thomas Tuchel set to take the reins of the Three Lions, Gallagher is acutely aware that his place in next year's World Cup squad is under serious threat unless he secures a more prominent role on the pitch. During the summer transfer window, Gallagher was widely considered surplus to requirements as Atletico looked to balance the books. However, a move failed to materialize when potential suitors balked at the Spanish club's lofty €40 million valuation. Even a last-minute loan inquiry from Manchester United on deadline day wasn't enough to tempt the player away from the Metropolitano, leaving him to fight for his place in Spain. In a significant turn of events, Atletico are now reportedly willing to cut their losses, slashing Gallagher's price tag to a more modest €30 million for the upcoming January window. This represents a substantial drop in value, over a quarter less than what Los Colchoneros paid just 18 months ago. Although his contract runs until 2029, the midfielder's growing disillusionment with his bit-part role has led him to weigh up his options elsewhere. The statistics paint a bleak picture for the former Chelsea man, who has started a mere 7 out of 23 matches this season. While he has featured in every game in some capacity, the lack of consistent starts has become a major bone of contention. For a player renowned for his high-octane energy and work rate, being relegated to the role of a super sub is simply not matching his ambitions for club or country. Adding fuel to the fire, Gallagher's representative was recently spotted in Manchester, sparking a frenzy of speculation among the Old Trafford faithful. While there has been no official word on whether the visit was specifically to iron out a deal with United, the rumours refuse to go away. It appears the wheels may finally be in motion for a return to the Premier League, where his robust style of play is arguably better suited. The tactical rigidness of Diego Simeone has proven to be Gallagher's biggest hurdle in Spain. In Simeone's preferred system, the Englishman has struggled to find his rhythm in a two-man midfield, and he lacks the natural traits of a traditional winger. While he has shown flashes of his true quality when Atletico occasionally shift to a midfield three, those opportunities have been far too few and far between for his liking. With the revised, more affordable asking price, Manchester United find themselves in pole position to secure his signature. The United engine room has often lacked the necessary bite and creative spark this season, and Gallagher could provide the dynamic energy required to revitalize their campaign. For the player, the prospect of a fresh start under the bright lights of Old Trafford seems an ideal way to reignite his career. However, the United hierarchy must act with conviction if they are to get this deal over the line. At €30 million, Gallagher represents excellent value for money, and other Premier League rivals may well be tempted to hijack the move. If United dither, they risk missing out on a player who possesses the high ceiling and engine needed to thrive in the physical environment of English football. As the January window approaches, United supporters are watching the situation with bated breath, hoping for a marquee signing to bolster the squad. Gallagher has the grit and goal-scoring instinct to become a cult hero at the Theatre of Dreams. With his agent already on the ground in Manchester, it feels as though the stage is set for one of the most intriguing transfers of the winter. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let us know in the comment your opinion.